Hey everyone, it's a new week, and this is At Your Own Risk, episode number 7, which I'm actually very happy that I'm still doing this thing. And one of the things I just want to do is basically go over the experience of racing the 2025 Unlimited Parker 400 with David Ziegler in just an amazing piece of equipment from Brenthel Truck, and just go through everything of just how it went, what we did, and ultimately how it ended for us. It was an uneventful end to the race, but I will get to that as I go on through this episode. And I just want to say it was pretty awesome event from the Martelli brothers. Kudos to you guys for putting an awesome race and event. I know that that a lot of people go through to everything, through the contingency and everything that happens in the town of Parker. It was pretty cool. So I'll just get to it. We started. We did get it. The cool thing about it was that there was a pre-run for the race, and me and David were able to get out there and get familiar with each other, since we had not had that opportunity to race before ever with each other. So the other cool thing too, obviously, was me and him were going to be using Baja Brian's notes, and that was something that he needed to get a little bit more familiar with, as far as how it how it comes across when you're coming in a corner, G outs, rocks, and other things to worry about. Their dangers out there. So that was a lot of fun for me to finally get an opportunity again to use Baja Brian's notes and be able to do as much as I could with that in that opportunity of being in the truck. That was my second time in a Spec Trophy truck, with and a Brenthel truck as well, and I really appreciate just the opportunity that David extended out to me to help him out and be a part of that for that race, and also Baja Brian for the connection there to get us hooked up and give him an opportunity to know how his notes should come across when you're dealing with somebody that's getting. And the cool thing, I know that being there at the event as well, I did have several guys come up to me and ask me, how does this work? How, it's all icon driven as well. It's very, a lot of guys call it very rally style of notes. And as far as I'm concerned, in my head, I love it. It's pretty awesome. I do understand that once you start running in the some of the more U.S. races where you can't pre-run, that's going to be a little bit more work as far as to figure out how to make those um, speeds, coherent in the app, in a Lowrance unit. So again, there's some there's some work to be done on it. I know when you race it in Mexico, it's 100% fail proof. Well, I shouldn't say 100% fail proof, but as far as me knowing what it says, what it does, and how it does it, Baja Brian's notes are pretty freaking cool to me, and I know that there are several teams out there using them, and good. To me, when it comes to any kind of spec class, one of the things that I think I enjoy is the competition of it. You can't just get, it comes down to the driver and the navigator. When it comes all down to it, if it's a spec truck, it comes down to how those two individuals are going to communicate with each other when it comes to changing a tire or anything else that might pop up. I think you know what, I'm even when I was in a trophy light truck, sometimes I'd give some of the other navigators some notes, and what I always attributed to at the end of the day, it's if they can do a better job than me in that seat, then they deserve it. I think it always comes down to driver and navigator when it comes to spec class. So the fact that other teams out there have Baja Brian's notes is not a threat to me, I don't think, at all. it's going to come down to the work you've put in and how much you've paid attention. So again, that's what we did. So we did a pre-run day. We were able to put in 1 day in of pre-running. I think it was Wednesday, and that was a lot of fun getting out on the course again. The good thing is there's a lot of stuff that comes at me that I know that I remember, so that makes it pretty easy for me. So we got out there on Wednesday, January 15th, and just had a full day of pre-running and checking everything out. And then once we were done, I think was registration for qualifying the next day. So we went out to the Blue Water, registered, and got everything all set and ready for qualifying the next day on Thursday. And then that was pretty much it. We pre-ran, and then we did the pre-check for qualifying on Thursday. And then Thursday morning we got up, got everything, went to the truck, looked it over a bit. Some of the things, obviously, it was just qualifying, so I wasn't that, concerned as far as where things were at that moment. Just because it's qualifying. It's a quick. I think it was an 11.4 mile loop. That was pretty cool. One of the things I think that I want to commend also the Unlimited guys on that is that on qualifying they gave us a 2 minute gap, which was pretty cool. It kind of let some of the dust get away from it, and so we went out to qualifying, and I think like maybe 1.8 miles of that 11 little course. The rest of them were still race course. It was part of the race course. So, and then they just put in a little, maybe it was 1.8, 1.7 miles of new course that they put, but the rest of it was all race course. So that was pretty cool because you kind of just already had it in your head of where you were going. So we did that. Put in a couple extra notes, obviously for the new section, which wasn't a lot. That was very helpful since we already had the notes for race day. So that helped a lot. And then we ended up qualifying the there was a couple trucks that rolled out there, and so when we were up to next to qualify, there we got held up for a long time while they flipped the cars, the trucks over, and got them out of the course. So by the time me and David went out, we had nobody in front of us. It was completely clear. I think it was maybe 10, 15 minutes afterwards. So we had a big gap of nobody in front of us. And once we took off, we were doing great right out of the start. We were doing great, and then went over a little bit of a berm on the inside course, on the inside track, and got that up set up. And then unfortunately we missed a corner where I think the truck previously had flipped, and so it looked like it had gone that way. And I gave David an instruction of where to go, and he followed the old uh, uh, um, course that he saw where the other truck had flipped, and so that cost us some time. And after that, I think we regrouped, and I think he was pushing a lot harder, which was fine with me. I felt very comfortable in that truck, and so then we ended up qualifying in 12th out of 15 trucks. And it was a good experience for both of us as far as getting a race condition opportunity to be in it. So then that was it. We got done qualifying, and the next thing I did was look the truck over, find out where the belt was, what the belt pattern was, if I needed to use it. Um, our plan, if we got a flat tire where we both jumping out, was I jumping out. Obviously, his truck has built-in jacks, so there's not a jack that I have to pull out unless we have an issue with the other unit. And then pretty much had everything planned out, where everything was, where the alternator, where pumps were. I do want to say that one of the cool things about dealing with the guys at Brental is that their team, their guys on the pit guys, these guys all work on these trucks, so it's pretty cool to be in that and trying to figure out things of where things are, and what can break, and what I'm going to have to do if I have to do any kind of mechanical work. And the guys, all of them, were like, "Look, if this happens, this is how you do this. If here's the power steering pump, here's this, do that, do this, cap that." Just, dude, super awesome guys. And so, for all the rental guys on that team, thank you guys for making it seem simple and easy to look at how to do things. And for me, that's awesome, man. That's way above and beyond what you guys have to be doing out there, and I appreciate it, because in my head, at least, it makes me think of what it is that I have to do, to if we're in a kind of situation. So again, I really appreciate the guys that did that. It was awesome that they took that opportunity to do it. And so again, thank you guys from Brenthal that do all the work. So that's all I did on Thursday, was basically go over some of the things. And then Friday was kind of like a free day. We didn't do much of anything other than, I think I put all the cameras, see where I was going to put cameras on the truck, which I'll be planning to make a full video that I'll put on the YouTube as well, for the cameras that I put on there. I put 5 cameras on there, and it kind of sucked because one of them didn't. It started recording and then it stopped right away. And when we ended up the race, it still had a fully charged battery, so I don't know what's going on with it. But the rest of them all got some cool footage. I like to put one right in the front that gets really cool stuff. And I placed another one on the side of the door that got some other really cool footage. So be looking out for that. That was a lot of fun. The other thing too was, then just race day came, and I got to, of all the people that support, text me, message me, DM me, everything. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate that. It makes a huge difference for me mentally, and I honestly felt so prepared for this race, like, as far as me physically, mentally ready to take on whatever came our way. And the good thing is, when I get in with guys like David Ziegler, is a freaking amazing driver. He's an awesome driver, very smart. He listens very well, which is good when I'm telling him what to do. But it was a lot of fun, man. I in that Brenthal truck, when it came to some of the big stuff that we were hitting, I almost had to remind myself that you're going fast, like, and but it didn't feel like it. It was such a comfortable ride that it just blew my mind how how awesome it is to ride those things. And it made me think too of how, um I guess, not spoiled, because this is only my second race in one of those spec trucks. And I've been racing UTVs and other stuff, but man, once you get in a spec, I got to tell you, I don't know if I want to go back to anything else. Even though I do have the Nora 1000 on my calendar in a 1600 car, but hey, you got to remember where you come from, right? So it's I'm telling you, the ride, amazing. Obviously, the guys at Brenthal have done a great job of the suspension and everything else on that. So kudos to them, whoever's doing that work. And so we took off in 12th, and started maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes later than what was scheduled. But once we got out, there was a little bit of breeze, and the guys in front of us took off, well. So we weren't having to fight any dust that was in front of us. But overall, everything that was on Brian's notes was awesome. It was great for me on my end, giving David all the information. I felt super comfortable. Once I got in it, it was a ton. It was a ton of fun. It was a blast. And so I just I got to remind myself how fortunate and lucky I am to be able to get in those trucks and have those opportunities. So we took off. We started seeing other guys on the side, having to fix something. So I think by the time we had moved, I haven't really looked at but I think we had moved from maybe 12th spot to maybe about eighth by the time we were getting close to the first full lap of 143 miles. I know, um, I know one of the trucks we saw was in the middle of the course, flipped on its side. The Bandland guys, I hope everybody was out, so that, they were giving us a thumbs up that they were okay. It was unfortunate to see them out there on their side like that, but that is racing when you're pushing. Sometimes you get yourself in trouble. So, um, but I think that was the only truck that we saw at the time on the first lap that was actually on the side, and it was in a really bad spot too. It was in like a ravine area, very tight. So it was going to be tough to get them turned over, man. And hope, I'm sure they obviously got out of there, but it was a tough spot to see them in. I'll probably try and put that on the video if I have the footage of that. But rest of the course really didn't have any issues. We were going fine. Where we could go fast, we would. I know there was at one moment uh, in during the race that David had said this is the truck we were racing in was had already 14 races in on that motor, which is great. I mean, when you're pushing and trying to do the best you can, if you can push a motor to 14 races, good on you. But and when we were going halfway through the course, I think on the other side, maybe after mile 80, 70, 80, somewhere around there, um, we we ended up. I hear the motor changes noise as we're going, and I could tell that something had changed in the motor. And I will say I didn't say nothing because sometimes when you say something, when maybe you're the only one that hears it, and you think, wait a minute, there's something wrong with this motor, like there's something changed on it. So, and you say it to your driver, that normally tends to get in their head, and that can create a bunch of issues once you get that in their head. So, I decided not to say anything. The gauges were all reading fine, and nothing was weird. Was the other thing that I looked at, but everything on the gauges was good. Pressure and everything else. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's something else. So I didn't say anything, but a little bit farther down, David, asked me, "Hey, does the engine sound different?" And I said, "Yeah, it does. I can hear it." And he says, "Okay, I thought so." So, um, once he says it, then I can agree or say no, and sometimes I'll even say no. I don't hear what are you talking about. That way we can continue on as long as the gauges are all good. I'm like, there's nothing wrong. But no, I did agree with him. Look, there is something amiss, something changed in the motor, the sound of this motor, and I could also feel like that we weren't getting all the horsepower we were getting before. So we kept going. Made it to midway, went through Go Trail, everything else, and we make it into the pits of the first lap at mile 143. We completed a full lap. We come in, we fuel up, and the guys are seeing. I think the guys in the pit afterwards, after were saying, hey, that they saw some smoke coming out of the truck, and we took off. And once we took off, Fox was right on us, and we were battling, literally coming out of the pits, and he beats us out just barely. And we keep going, and I think maybe no more than 3-4 miles down the road of the course on the infield right there, um, we're fine. I have no signal on the gauges that something's wrong, and in a split second, it just like just a bunch of noise comes out of the motor, smoke comes out, and we lose all power. We coast off over to the side, and I'm thinking, okay, we'll get out and see what happened. Maybe it's a belt or something else. But we get out, and I'm thinking, okay, well, we got to get the hood off and see what's wrong. And David stays in the truck and says, wait, let me try and turn it and see if it'll turn on. and he hits a button to turn it on, and nope, just frozen. Click, 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 like nothing. So, it was the end of our day, and that's how it ended. It's like I felt we were good doing. I mean, we were doing awesome. I felt we were very in well sync of what was going on, what we needed to do. Unfortunately, that motor decided that 14 races was enough, and they were done. So, it was a fun day. Other than that, I think we would have had a great, great outcome had we been able to keep pushing without the motor. Obviously, calling it quits. So, but other overall, had a fun time, and it was again. I appreciate David for the opportunity, and again I really thank the guys at Brenthal Motorsports or at Brenthal for everything they did to prep that truck and get it ready, and all the work that they do while you're there when they're, when we're while we're waiting and figuring out what to do next. The guys do an awesome job, and I just want to commend them for that for doing an awesome job. Again, the Martelli brothers for putting in a great event. Congratulations to everybody that finished the race. I know that on what was it, Friday, they had the limited vehicles racing on Friday, which we went to go watch some of them, and they had a couple issues. I mean, actually, the attrition was there was a lot of vehicles that broke on that day on Friday, and so coming into Saturday, I knew that we needed to take care of the car, take care of the truck, and make it to the finish line and complete, 3 full laps. But you know that that unfortunately, like I said, the motor decided to give out, and that was it. But congratulations to everybody that made it and got to finish. It was so much fun to meet a bunch of new people, new drivers out there, and that's pretty much all I got to say about it. And it seems like again, everything went smooth for the organizers. I think I didn't hear of anything, major or tragic that happened out there, so that's always a plus. um, and and the town of Parker, obviously, for hosting the event and making it a great event for everyone. I know from my personal experience, growing up as a kid, that was one of the races that my dad first ever took me to, was the Parker race, and way back in the days in the '80s, it just holds a special place in my heart. I know when it comes to racing Parker, and I'm so blessed and just appreciate the opportunity that I've been given. Again, that's pretty much all I got to say about the race. I know the there's another race in February coming up next month. I am signed up to be a part of that as well with another race team. If nothing has changed, I hope. And looking forward to being out there again, getting in another Spec Trophy truck, and feeling as comfortable as I could ever imagine being in those trucks. And it's a lot of fun, man. I hope that me sharing, brings some joy into people that are listening and supporting and following this thing. I'm gonna keep at it. I'm gonna keep. I do appreciate all the people that I ran to at the event, at Contingency, and at the race, that have listened and have encouraged me to keep doing this and sharing all the stuff that I can on my end when it comes to being a co-pilot in an off-road vehicle. And I think that if anybody has that wish, that you know that they want to be a part of it, find a way, just get involved. Find a team that's looking for some help, and make yourself an asset. As I always say, make yourself an asset to a race team that one day you can possibly get into a vehicle and have some fun with it. Again, it is a dangerous sport. I am not a professional in any way, and so I'm just sharing what I know, what I love, and what I'm passionate about. And so, with that, I'll just I'll leave you guys with that. I don't want to carry it out too long. Again, I do appreciate everybody that's listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please send them to me on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, Daniel Plaza, or even Copilot Mafia. You can send it there as well. And that's all I got to say. So again, appreciate everybody who listens. And again, have a great week. And I'll be back next time with hopefully episode 8. So have a great week.